What's up, TORCS racers? Steve Harris with Low Class Media here. This is my video of my third place finish at Knesek Ranch. Stay tuned. That's right, folks. I am very, very excited to be coming to you here today after my best race of my racing career. Knesek Ranch was another super hot and dusty race, and I'm proud to say that I've gotten back on the podium once again and finished in third place. But this race definitely did not come easy. And in fact, one of the things that I was most proud about in this race was my ability to, on the fly, sort of develop a strategy and really stick to that strategy and use it to ultimately get on the podium. There were so many points in this race where someone was breathing down my neck and I really felt tempted to ride over my head and really just go faster. But I told myself at the beginning of the race that just keeping a constant and steady pace was going to be the name of the game. And it absolutely was. But guys, something very, very terrible has happened to me. My GoPro screwed up and ruined the video of my best race ever. This is what my video sounded like. There was no audio, because this is what my video looked like. Somehow my GoPro went into time warp mode. I'm not really sure how that happened. Fortunately, Caspar Hassall, a fellow 250 FC rider, got some really great video, and I was able to use that to put this together here today for you guys. You'll see here in the video that Caspar Hassall was on my rear tire for pretty much the entire last 3 laps of the race, and he was putting a lot of pressure on me. And as we got deeper and deeper into the later laps of the race, I was able to figure out where he was strong and where I was strong and kind of what both of our weaknesses were, and I was able to use that to my advantage and ultimately finish in front of it. But he put up a really great fight, put a ton of pressure on me, and I think him and I both agreed at the end of the race that we both had a great time running this race together. But before we jump into the video here, I wanted to take 30 seconds to say something about MotorX oils. As we all know, this weekend's race was super hot. And when you're pushing your bike to its limit, you gotta run high quality lubricants and oils. And because I run MotorX, my bike was running cool as a cucumber. My radiator fan barely came on. And I know I talk a lot about MotorX, but if you're not convinced at this point, well then you can just go funnel something else into your own bike. Just kidding. I love you. But let's jump in the video here and see what happened in the race. So this is the view from Caspar Hassall's GoPro because mine screwed up. I think the strategy for this race, and I'm right there next to him to the right, we both lined up to the inside because we were worried about people sliding wide into turn 1, and I think you'll see that that definitely paid off here. So here we go. The Yamaha always shooting in. Unfortunately, he dumped it. I'm right to the right here. Caspar ends up in second. And so he's off to the races. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause here. Check out this frame here. This is where I ended up coming in the turn before scoring. This is Ryan Lawman, a buddy of mine here, but he kind of went a little bit wide and left the door open. So if you look at this next frame, this is how we ended up. And I was able to kind of get inside and pass him and then keep going. So just kind of fast forwarding here, Caspar is pulling into the woods here. I can't remember this guy's name on the 150, super cool young guy. Man, when he got in the woods, he just kind of checked out. But in any case, we get into the woods here. Caspar's in second place and he's running smooth. I'm actually right behind him, or maybe not right behind him, but I'm fairly close behind. He hasn't got out of sight yet, which is a new experience for me in a race, obviously. But as you can see here, we're kind of getting close to the whoop section, and it was pretty nasty. These hard pack whoops, man, they were kind of just, I don't know, they were tough. And Caspar actually didn't run practice, and he was told about this little spot coming up here, and I think you all know what I'm talking about. But he said he got into it, stared it down, and then just got cross-threaded, boom, and then he goes down. And of course, I'll pause it here. So as you can see, I go by, and then right behind me is number 248, maybe, but that's Ryan Lawman. In any case, he's got pink boots on, and so if you go to this next frame here, and this is from my view, you can see that he eventually gets up the inside of me and passes me. And I remember in the race, after the race, I never remember seeing him, but I think I was just really overwhelmed. And I saw his pink boots out of the corner of my eye, but I thought it was a pink jersey. And so I just felt like I never saw him. But in any case, Ryan got by me. He actually ended up finishing second. And then we were really off to the races here. So at this point, I can't tell if I'm in second or third. I really don't know. But I do know I'm in podium position, and I'm well within the first lap, and I'm like, okay, I've got to be able to maintain this. And I knew going into this race that the fatigue was going to be a factor. So I told myself, look, I'm just going to keep going. And if people pass me, that's fine. But if they outride themselves, they're going to get tired, and I'm going to catch them and pass them back. But actually, I was able to just kind of ride at a pace and kind of stay in front of everybody for the rest of the race until Caspar caught up to me. So I'll go ahead and fast forward to that part here. All right, so this is the start of lap 3. As you can see, Caspar has caught back up to both me and Troop Feldman. Troop Feldman was actually a 2-time race winner, I think, for the last 2 races, so definitely a stiff competitor. And then, of course, I'm there right in front of Troop. And yeah, at this point, I know that 2 bikes are behind me, right? And they're not super close now, but I could hear them when we were going through scoring, and I wasn't sure who was who because honestly, I think Troop rides a 250 gas 2-stroke, and obviously Caspar's on the 200 here, pretty sick bike, and yeah, I'm not 100% sure who's right behind me at this point, but I do know that it's 2 people, and I'm doing everything I can to stay in front of them. So that's kind of the name of the game here. Caspar told me after the race he lost his rear brake. So right now he's on this sketchy, slippery stuff on the side-by-side trail with only front brake. So I can't even imagine what that's like because I use both brakes every time. Like I use both brakes when I stop, period. So I can't imagine how he feels. I'm not sure if it came back later in the race. I'm not sure. Troop's grabbing the old water here. It's funny because we're all pretty evenly matched, and if you kind of watch here, you know, I'll pull a gap on them, but then they'll catch back up, and then I'll pull a gap on them and they'll catch back up, and I'm not necessarily like pushing because I hear them right behind me, and then I'm not necessarily like slowing down because I'm tired, because I really started to settle into a rhythm this is lap 3 obviously, and you know, lap 2 I was super tired, but by this point I'd settled into rhythm, and I kind of knew the trail a little bit. This is my favorite part of the trail, and I pulled out a gap right here. This is my favorite turn, so you can see like I pretty much left them in the dust, and but yeah, like I would push, and you know, I'm already in the next turn, and I continue going, but it's not like I was tired. So I mean, these guys definitely just have something in some of these sections that I don't have, and I'm confident. Had Caspar not had some of the difficulties that he had in this race, I'm pretty sure he would have beat me. All right, so pulling back into the woods here. I know, you know, I can just keep him behind me, and so that's what I'm focusing on here. All right, uh-oh. Went a little wide. I never saw, Troop took like a pretty wide line around all those trees. I actually never saw that. That wasn't too bad either, but I really do think the line I was taking where you cut underneath and then just drive that through that little corridor all the way was the fastest way through there. All right, running into a little traffic here. Caspar's like, no, you better let me by too. I'd do the same thing. Kind of looks like Troop is slowing down a little bit here. I mean, it was hot out there. Yeah. Caspar's getting impatient. He's like, man, get out of my way. Oh, Troop let him by. I think Troop is probably just tired. I mean, the dude is fast, no doubt, in our class. I think he just got tired. But I mean, so Caspar's by. I'm right up here. And so, I mean, uh-oh, a little mistake there. I mean, watch how fast he closes the gap on me. You can see, I mean, look. He definitely has something I don't have because, I mean, even through that section, I mean, look how much ground he made up on me. Just right there. Look at my form here. Just dropped elbows. You know, standing up, hunching. Good Lord, I'm done. I look like trash. And look how much I'm just leaning to the inside, leaning to the inside. That's got to be my biggest flaw in my technique. All right, nice and easy here, going through the dip. It's so funny. You look at this bike up here. I'm pretty sure that's Gil. Yeah, I think it's Gil Ramos. When I came around that corner and I saw that bike, I thought someone was crashed across the trail or just stopped up there, and I was like, oh God. I had flashbacks to czars and like crashing on the hills or having people crash in front of me on the hills. But fortunately, they were out of the way. All right, here we go. Back in the open stuff. This turn right here, you could really rip through it pretty hard, but I feel like I didn't figure it out until like, you know, later, like the last lap of the race, like lap 4, lap 5. But this turn here is probably my second favorite turn. I felt like there was just so much grip through here. And you could really just stay on the gas all the way to like right here. And I was running my track control this whole race, and it really helped getting back on the gas. I didn't feel as timid to let the bike eat. That track control really helped. All right, lap 4. Now the fight is really on here. Caspar wants it already, you can see it. I love this little section. Left, dump it back over to the right, back to the left, and then boom, boom, boom. Listen, listen. I remember in the race, I could hear this. I could hear him just winding it out, and I was like, hell no, I'm going too. You're gonna go faster, I'm gonna go faster. Look at this standing form. Oh my gosh. Just hunched, you know, just up there hunching. Good Lord. So, I mean, Caspar's on me. Like, he's wicked it up and he wants by. But I think, as a lot of us know, like, I mean, it was just so sketchy through here and just, you know, choppy and off camber, and, you know, it had little ruts on one side and it was higher on the other. And man, it was, you can tell he's got opportunities to pass, but it's just so hard to commit. And then, like right here, you know, of course I heard him and I'm going faster, but it was just hard to commit, and combined with the, oh man, almost lost it there. Combined with the heat and the fatigue, you just didn't really feel comfortable sending it. Oh man, almost went down there. I just keep closing the door on him, closing the door on him. I was dirty. Technique. Oh yeah, no. I mean, he's trying. And to his credit, man, I mean, I'm prone to mistakes, especially when I'm under pressure, so it might have worked. I feel like he got his back brakes back right here. I don't know, man. Oh, right here. Oh, that was the spot to really send it on me. But now we're back to my favorite part, my favorite turn. And since I remember I made it here, so I was like, well, I know I'm gonna haul ass through this. Pull a little gap, little safety, little security blanket there, at least for the time being. I'm coming around now though. I see this lapper here and I'm like, I hope I get around him clean. Oh my goodness. There was a lot of that was the spot too right there to get me. And then he could have pinched me on the lapper. I like this section too here. I kind of figured it out on this lap. Right, this turn right here, you could really get on the gas early if you came through there just right. And then I love this little, that little left to right. But then this all in here was just so choppy and kind of sketchy. All right, back to the woods here. So yeah, kind of back to safety here. I mean, I was kind of trying to keep my pace up, but and if I could put a gap, so be it. But at the same time, I was not willing to ride any faster than I thought was comfortable because I did not want to gas out. And I can hear Caspar the whole time right behind me. Here goes this inside cut. Boom. Good line, just straight through there. Ooh, I felt sketched out by that one. That back tire came up real hard. Okay, so I believe this is him. I'm not 100% sure though. But this is Bo. I met him at the race. I'm pretty sure his name is Bo. And he's in open sea. And you can see that we kind of caught up to him, but then now he's gone again. And so I was thinking to myself, okay, this guy's pretty fast. He's just as fast as I am, if not faster. And, you know, it's easier to obviously ride with someone in front of you because they're like a trail marker and you can see what's going on in front. So I was like, I'm not going to really yell different class at this guy because he's kind of helping tow me through there. Even though we're not exactly on him at this point. But, and I was also thinking, I was thinking if I could get him between me and Caspar, even just for a little bit, that would help me build a little bit of a pad, you know, to kind of keep Caspar back there still. So I'm kind of thinking to myself, okay, I'm not gonna yell different class at this dude. I'm just gonna kind of follow him, and then if I can find an opportunity to get in between us, that's what I'm gonna try to do. And so far, so good. One other thing I was focusing on while I was out here is trying not to be so on off, and trying to use the grip of the tires to turn the bike rather than getting hard on the brakes and and you know, trying to pivot the bike. You know, I was really trying to let the bike kind of just flow with the chassis. And then I was also thinking about, you know, when I'm getting on the throttle, just try to stay on the throttle. Don't, you know, if I get into a situation where you know, I think I'm a little offline, just try to ride it out and ride through it. But don't come off the throttle. Don't do this on off, you know, on the throttle, on the brakes, on the throttle, on the brakes. I have a tendency to ride real, you know, like pointy, you know. And so that was really helping me just kind of stay smooth. And I think in some ways, you know, I'm not reaching like here we go, here's that spot, just trying to cover the inside. In some ways I'm not reaching like a peak speed, but I'm carrying a better average speed, obviously, just by staying on the gas longer and not overriding the trail. Oh, I stalled it. Woo! Oh man. I watched this video to make sure that I had some good footage from Caspar, but I didn't see that part. Man, that was close. I almost gave it away. All right, now we're getting back to the open stuff. And I was like, I've got to go. I've got to go. So, and I can see Bo in front of me, and I'm realizing like I'm tracking him down quick. So I'm like, okay, this is where I'm going to do it. I told myself I'm going to try to put him between us before scoring. So they come out of the start finish, or the transponder with him behind me. Oh, Caspar. Oh, damage control. Just get on the throttle, baby. Oh, overcooked that one just a little bit. All right, so here comes scoring. Man, look at his bars. That's what I hated about the two-stroke on this track. It's just... So my plan worked. I kind of don't honestly understand why Caspar wasn't yelling different class. I mean, I guess he's not right on him at this point. So this is lap 5, and on lap 5, this is where I ran my fastest lap. This is where I ran my fastest lap, and I definitely poured it on a little harder for sure. And Caspar said he noticed, because even in this section, every time I could see a good straightaway, I was trying to run just a little bit harder at it, and just kind of, you know, tighten up, use, you know, squeeze the bike, use my technique to carry just a little bit harder speed, or more speed. Like even here, as you make this right-hand turn right here, by this lap I finally figured out, I stayed more to the left side right here because there's a rock like right there, and it was kicking me every time, and it was making me lack confidence coming through there. But I was able to see it. The thing was, there was dust on the ground, so I never saw it until like lap 4, and I ran right over it and I saw it, and I was like, oh, and I could see that it wasn't that big. I just had to move over a little bit. I thought the ground was just real square edge right there, but on this lap I was able to miss it and go a little bit harder at that section. But Caspar, man, for every little extra bit I've given it on lap 5, he's matching me right there and tried to just stay with me, and he did a great job. And I'm thinking to myself right now, if I can keep a decent gap here, when I get to my favorite part of the track, I can pull an even farther gap. Here it is right here. And even from right here, I was like, I can use gas from right here all the way through this. And you'll see, man, I just take off. You don't see it, unfortunately, because my video is screwed up, but like right here, I almost lost the front, like going like 4th gear pin. My bars went from like this to like this to this. It like fully locked out to straight back, like in a split second. I was like, oh. I was worried when I saw this lap traffic I wasn't gonna be able to get by clean, but she moved right over, so I appreciate that. Caspar was telling me too, on this last lap, his bike started to have like a fuel starvation issue. It wasn't quite revving all the way out. So honestly, he was dealing with a lot more adversity than I was, and he was obviously the faster racer on the day, but just kind of had, you know, his fall at the beginning, dealt with some bike issues, and but he just stayed in there and just kept swinging, and without those mistakes and those issues with the bike, he definitely would have beat me. There's no question. Just because of his speed in the woods. I think it was kind of right here. I was in the woods and I was still kind of like, okay, I was still in go mode, like I'm gonna go a little faster. But very quickly I was like, there's really no reason. I'm just gonna make a mistake. And I almost did a couple times. But yeah, you can see, I mean, Caspar's obviously caught up with me here, making mincemeat of me in the woods. And I'm just trying to hang on. My right hand was literally numb for like the majority of this race, which is kind of funny because usually it's my left hand. Ooh! That, I thought I was done right there. I thought I had lost the front. I thought the bike was going down. It didn't look near as bad on camera, but I mean, I was certain I was going down. But man, the tire just bit and stood right back up, and I was able to keep going. Got lucky. Kind of in the home stretch here. I know at this point, there's nothing too difficult besides that little like up and down ditch before we get back to the open stuff. So I'm just trying to ride clean, not making mistakes. No need to push. But I am thinking to myself too, like, I know Caspar's got something for me. You know, he's gonna throw it in on me if I let him too close. So I was trying to go just fast enough to make that decision harder on him. Like right here, I was like, I gotta get through here, close the door, keep going. Mission accomplished. I remember in the race, I saw that guy on that bike there, and I was like, oh my gosh, is he across the trail? But no, he was out of the way, thank God. But like, my life flashed before my eyes. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to like figure out how to get around this guy, and I have to do it quick. But it worked out. All right, here we go. When I was like, as soon as I got to that fence, I was ready to open it up. Yeah, you can hear his bike. Yeah, his bike's not revving out. I felt bad once he told me that. There it goes. Now this turn, I was so anxious to get this race over with. I overcooked it, went way wide. I was scared that I'd screwed up right there, but I looked back, had a gap, I was like, okay, I'm good. Coming up to the finish line here, I was like, I can't believe it. I was seriously so stoked. I wish I had this on camera, but my camera screwed up, but I was coming through the finish here and I was like, man, been a while since I've been on the podium, and this was a hard fought race. It felt good. Major appreciation to all the people throwing water on us.
Yeah, buddy. Shit, man. What a fucking race. Yeah, thank you. Oh, it was so much fun.
Bro. Hey, Joyce, get this guy here. Does that feel good?
Oh, yeah.
All the waters and the fans. It was perfect. All right, guys, so that's the video. I really hope you enjoyed the race as much as I did. I can't believe I'm back on the podium. It's really taken a long time to get back there. I know for me, the race at Styx was definitely a reality check in terms of my ability to handle the heat and also my ability to strategize how I'm gonna approach the race and not override and conserve my energy, et cetera, et cetera. And I think at Knesek, I really committed myself to figuring out what my strategy was, sticking to it, and not deviating from that. And I think I was rewarded for doing so. So that's really the thing that I'm gonna take home from this race. But how did your race go? Go down in the comments and drop me a comment and tell me how it went. I always love hearing the feedback from you guys and seeing you guys out at the races. And I am looking forward to the next race. I'm glad that we have this summer break. I've actually taken a week off from riding. I've got some extra time here and I really don't even know what to do with myself. But I'm looking forward to getting back on the bike and continue training, continue working on my physical conditioning, and trying to bring something new to the next race here in September. But I'm looking forward to that. I hope you are too. And I appreciate you guys watching and subscribing to my channel. We'll see you guys at the next race.